And we do begin with breaking news. Sonar has detected underwater banging sounds in the area where a submersible disappeared during a dive to the wreckage of the Titanic. We've been following this closely. The news raises hopes that the 5 people on board could be alive.
Well, we were talking to a number of experts on our show yesterday, and they were saying how if they heard banging, if sonar could detect that banging underwater, that could help rescuers, the Coast Guard, detect that submersible. And the hopes are that it will be found before oxygen on board runs out. They have about 24 more hours, according to the latest Coast Guard estimates. Rescuers then face the difficult challenge of bringing that sub back to the surface.
And we have live team coverage this morning. Marine archaeologist Steve Nagowitz will join us to discuss how these dives work exactly. Also, we have Emily Finn, who's in Canada, with a look at how their Coast Guard is assisting in our search. But first, we do want to begin with Dre Clark, who's in Boston with the latest on the rescue mission. Dre, a pretty big development this morning.
Yeah, a pretty big development. You're exactly right. And a spike in hope, that is, as the search continues and goes on here. Meanwhile, the U.S. Coast Guard here in Boston is still leading the search effort. And according to the Coast Guard's own estimated timing, those 5 people missing on board the Titan now have less than 24 hours of oxygen available. And the challenge to find them and rescue them is not getting any easier here, again, because now it's been more than 3 days since there's been any word of them, and still nothing.
For a moment, rescue teams thought they had a major breakthrough Wednesday. A Canadian aircraft detecting underwater noises in the area of the North Atlantic Ocean, where crews have been searching to find the Titan, a missing submersible carrying 5 people on board. But after deploying an underwater robot to investigate the sounds, the U.S. Coast Guard says they found nothing, and the search continues.
So I want to reiterate, this is a very complex search, and the unified team is working around the clock to bring all available assets and expertise to bear as quickly as possible in an effort to solve this very complex problem.
The primary search area is vast, 900 miles east off the coast of Cape Cod, 400 miles south of Newfoundland, Canada, where the crew launched its research expedition last Friday.
We will do everything in our power to effect a rescue.
American and Canadian military planes and boats are working together in the search. Meanwhile, an underwater robot has also started searching in the area of the Titanic wreckage. And the U.S. Navy is sending its flyaway deep ocean salvage system in case the submersible is found and needs a lift out of the ocean.
The Titan does not have a GPS tracking device, but it does have a series of systems that allows it to resurface on its own, even if everyone on board is unconscious. But again, so far, there has been no sighting or even sound of the sub.
All right, thank you very much, Dre. Let's head north from Boston to Newfoundland, Canada. Emily Finn is in St. John's with the latest on the ground there. Emily, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Adrienne. Our team just landed here in St. John's last night, and as we were leaving the airport, we saw these 3 massive U.S. Air Force planes, like the ones that you see behind me here, and they're all part of those assistant efforts from the U.S. to help the search and rescue efforts to track down this Titan vessel and all of those missing members on board. Now, even once crews are able to locate the Titan, it's going to be a complicated mission and take quite a bit of time to recover it from that deep water. These 3 C-17 aircrafts from the U.S. Air Force arrived from Buffalo, New York, up here to St. John's last night, carrying what they're calling rescue-related cargo. Now, the 5 people on board are Paul Henry Narzalo, a French Navy diver who's believed to be the pilot, British-Pakistani businessman Shahdaza Dawood and his son Solomon, Hamish Harding, a British businessman and explorer, is on board, and Stockton Rush, the CEO of OceanGate, which we know is the firm that launched the dive. Now, more details continue to come to light about safety warnings made directly to OceanGate leading up to the Titan going missing. There were concerns raised about dangers when the vessel reached extreme depths dating back to 2018. So they've known about these problems for a while here. OceanGate's director of marine operations actually compiled a document urging the company to do more testing. So now, Adrienne, I know everyone's been saying it, but it really is a race against the clock. Less than 24 hours of oxygen supply still left in the vessel. We'll be out here all day continuing to bring updates to your viewers.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.